I wanted to talk about how that the sun is going to pass over Uranus, and it's called Uranus goes Kazemi because it kind of disappears into the sun, and then the sun fuses with Uranus. And just the bottom line is, it can be a very disruptive energy. It doesn't have to be though. It really depends on how it aspects your particular chart. If you have late degree fixed, like say late degree, well, the Taurus people, they've been experiencing not being able to be so in control. They, for the last 7 years that Uranus has been in Taurus, Uranus represents, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's the 7 year itch. Yeah, some people will kind of get married and then like after 7 years or something just wants to, they want to change, and that's the Uranus factor. If it is switching a sign and it happens to hit somebody's personal planets, their Venus, their Mars, their Sun, their Moon, even especially their rising sign, boy, they're going through a personal overhaul. See, it takes 88 years for Uranus to go through the complete zodiacal phase, all the 12 signs. So if you have, like, if you're lucky enough, I mean, it takes, it's like, well, you're once in 80 years that you have this conjunction to your personal planets. And so if you do have the late Taurus, then, or any Taurus, you've been experiencing the jostling of Uranus, which tells us, well, we all know now that Uranus in Taurus is like, would you please slow down and calm down? I'm telling you to get more earthy and grounded. And see, it's like this. Get into your microcosm. Not just sit down and be calm. It's kind of strange because Uranus isn't really like that. It's very, um, I want to say, airy because it does rule Aquarius, and it's a peculiar place for Uranus to be inside of Taurus. Very strange. It's just so strange. So anyway, we did have this Scorpio moon. I can still talk about it. Today is the 15th. It happened on the 12th. The energies are still in the air. I think I did make some abrupt videos about sex and stuff like that, and it does point at that energy about the sexes or success, the sexes or success, success. Which do you think that the sheep know, success or sexes? I think that sheep know about sexes. Success, it's like, it's not, here in the meadows here, we're just chewing our grass, and what is success? I mean, we've arrived. Have you arrived yet? That's very much the Taurus energy. It's just like, well, all we have to do is be here. And now I'd love to get my chalkboard and point. Look, there's my kitty cat right there. I would love to get my chalkboard out and start getting into our words. The real, like, see the O, see, but there's OWE, and that see, a lot of people don't like the O, but the truth is, when you eat, you owe us a turd. It's really coming out the other O. See, this O is an oscillator. It's that, well, the Bible. You see the Bible. It's a ball, and you've seen um, the Taurus vortex, right? And it's a very important shape and scenario where, yeah, there's intake and an output. They say that a galaxy it has this vortex that you can't really see, but it's kind of going like this. There's a black hole in the middle, and see, even at an atomic level, there's this vortices, and in our bodies, if you're doing your yoga, there's 188 points around you, and you have a vortex going like this, and so it's the Bible. You have the one side that is coming in, and then it comes out, and if it doesn't come out, you're constipated as hell, and the land doesn't get fertile. See, to O is not a bad thing. It's actually a symbol, babes, the OWE. Now you notice the word we in there. You can't really, it's no fun to be giving or even taking unless there's a we. I mean, what are we doing, right? I mean, it's kind of like, hey, so anyway, Taurus is all about that. they are the havers. They have, and what good would all of that work that they do out in the fields or even with their money if they couldn't share it? And if you know a good vibration of Taurus, they are gift giving. They do grant us with things. They say, well, here's a candle and it has a frou-frou and a crystal and it's more organic and stuff like that. You know, they it's just really important. They know how important it is that we have people in our lives that that's what makes us more rich is the gains that come from just the association. If you have a lot of sheep out in the meadows and they're chewing their cud and they're all pooping at once, boy, you know, in the morning, early in the morning, this is when you go out there and you say, and you see your amaryllis mushrooms growing in the feces of cows or whoever. You're like, yay, I'll take those. You know, it's kind of beneficial, maybe, right? But so you get the idea about owing. See, in human, I don't say human, I'd say in in um, the yet to become human and enlightened mind that they think owing is bad. See, I owe, I owe. What you're saying there is, first of all, I owe. I is means on, and then O means off. But the funny thing about the word on and off, they both have the O in it. So it's kind of an illusion there. You know, they're connected. You know, the Bible, the Bible. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Now, I was trying to talk about the Uranus going cazimi. Just keep an eye out for, watch out, man. Watch the news. Find out where, if you have, where Taurus is in your chart. You know, maybe get a hold of me over my messenger on Facebook and we'll do your astrology for $25 because I really need the money and I'll like some tires. And we'll see how this, it's like, well, they're planning on, especially for Taurus, it's kind of like a blow up, you know, or it doesn't have to be negative though. No, it could be very beneficial to have, see, Uranus is very high-minded. It's the higher mind. It's the higher octave of Mercury. In communications, it's actually the mind of God. And so we're going to have this ability on the 17th. It kind of starts over the weekend, 16th, 17th, 18th. Give it 3-degree orbs. The degrees are different than the days. So, but it is happening over the weekend. It hits sometime in between the 16th and the 17th. And I don't know if you can feel it already. I mean, have you felt some kind of instability and something go on? It doesn't have to be positive either. It could be a negative thing. You know, there's people right now that are pulling some really fucked up moves about, well, see, I talked about the control freak, the Taurus people. They are the classic, right? And, well, so is Leo. I mean, all of the fixed signs, they are the control freaks. You got Scorpio over there who's just like trying to control you with their laser beam eyeballs. And the more savvy, but definitely has a need to control, but it could be benevolent control, is the Aquarius, you know. But no, it could be really bad with them. You know, they I don't know how they control except where they'll do it intellectually. They're very high-minded people. They might know astrology. They might have a higher learning tool that they handle, and then they, you know, the worst of the worst will be using that to benefit themselves, like to take advantage of people or something. I don't know, and or to gain control somehow. And I think we should all just get along and stop thinking that there's I, he, she, or me. There's actually we. You know, with the O there, put the O down, pick up the W. There's we. See, we're looking at symbols that represent things. The O, I'm telling you, it's a symbol. It's not a letter. Your alphabets are not letters, although we are flattered when we say letter. No, it's a symbol system sent from benevolent beings who live in outer space. See, if we got our symbols back and we started using those better, like, you know, the T actually means truth, or, you know, it just happens to be that the T is there. And it kind of represents some, to me, you know, there's a compass. You've always seen, or if you've looked, there's the circle, and then there's a cross in the middle. Well, that's the astrological chart. You have the cardinal signs on these angles that create this like this, but it's like directional. It's like, well, we've made it, and there's get this, there's north, east, west, south. Did you get the news? You know, NEWS. What's the real news? Well, I say just kind of wipe the fog out of your eyes and look around. Did you arrive yet? Uh, and that's where we are. You know, here we are, and so, but yeah, it's kind of strange speech. It's not the only thing that's happening. Let me tell you, we have this remarkable. See, now that's a Venus ruled event that the Uranus is conjuncting the Sun. The Sun is conjuncting Uranus. The Sun is actually the faster moving one, and it kind of disappears Uranus. It's a real live turning point. Yeah, it's very, very heavy too. And what I mean is like, well, I don't know. I hope those Taurus people and all of those fixed signs um, can change without just like feeling like this rubber band snapping kind of a thing. Like, well, you didn't listen and now it's pa, you know, and it could be very beneficial, though. I say that it's nothing but beneficial. Change is always for the better. So we're looking at Venus ruled. So then you look at Venus. It's now when this is happening, it's happening over the 17th and well, the 16th, 17th, 18th this weekend coming up. Let alone, see, we have this heavy duty energy of Saturn being at 29 degrees Pisces. That's very heavy duty. Crap. There's a lot of really butt hurt people out there. It's the generation who is going through their second Saturn return or their first Saturn return. Either you're 31 or 61 or 62, just wrapping up your Saturn return. And I haven't met any Saturn in Pisces. I've talked to you about it before. It's hard. These people have been subjected to something beyond it's beyond their control, circumstances beyond their control in their early upbringing. It has to do with the programming, terrible programming. It could be satanic, you know, it depends on what church they followed. All church, really, you know, trying to get to the bottom of that one, you know, how they just keep on slapping around the feminine aspect, the one that says, just I feel and moves to those feelings. It says, well, it will say no when something doesn't feel right, and well, if you say no to a sociopath or a darn narcissist, they punish you. They give you reactive abuse. They don't like to be wrong, and especially if it's like triggering them off. No, so let's get back to that. Yeah, I've never met a Saturn and Pisces person who wasn't just completely fucked up from their programming when they're early age, and they can like really put people through it. You know, they here's a good example is that they just feel so inferior to anything and everything. I knew my uncle was this way. He had Saturn and Pisces. Oh, they have skin problems a lot. It rules the skin, and if it's Saturn, see, Saturn tends to take away from whatever it hits, and when it's in Pisces, see, Pisces is a very spiritual sign. It rules being the Christ consciousness, really. So when you put Saturn there, it's like taking it away. So a lot of these people have been heavily disenfranchised. They'll talk about God like, yeah, right, you know, the universe is, really, we're talking about the same thing when we talk about God and or the universe. They don't have a very good relationship with it. They're very caught up in victimization, and they can so needless to say, there's a lot of butt hurt fucking people. I don't like using that word terminology, but that's no better of a terminology. It's like they're just this membrane. It's like, nah. And so you're going to be victimized by them because they're a victim, and you're the one that's insensitive and boundary breaking and this and that. And they're just really actually, can you kind of realize what's happening and stop raking people over just because you have all of that karma? See, it's a very karmic placement. Saturn does rule our karma in life, and any sign that it's in, it's the main lesson that we have to learn. So anyway, yeah. So, but getting back to see, there's a lot going on with the astrology. I heard that Chiron is entering into Aries. No, Ceres. Ceres is entering into Aries, And Ceres is I think I'm right about that. I don't know, I don't study the outer planets of the other 600 objects very much. You know, I try to stick to just the layman um, ability. Like, see, this book goes up to, it has Chiron in it, but it has all the planets, and let's just stop there. You know what I mean? Because I think I don't know, it's word salad after a while. It's intellectual spam, you know, after a while when you start saying, yes, but Ares and Sirius and the rock over there, you know, then it's like, well, yeah, okay. But no, there's mythological significance behind it. It is very significant to tell you the truth. So Ceres, I don't know, but I think it does have something to do with, right off the top of my head, it's very intellectually driven. What I mean is, it's like true knowledge. It's like the crystalline, um, like information field that is there, that is a fine strand that makes up like a mosaic that it's carrying a lot of ancient wisdom, and that has been batted back a lot. So when it goes into Aries, Aries is going to give it a fire and says, no, if you have Aries in you, you're experiencing this darn series. It's going to go over my ascendant. So I have to kind of pay attention to that and read it. I'm kind of excited about it. It's like, yay, oh boy, let alone that Neptune is going over. How do you like these glasses I got, huh? Yeah, wow. 99 cents, babes. So, see, that Cazimi that's going on, I just want to focus on the weekend here, how that it's Venus ruled. We do have Venus getting right out of retrograde shadow, like it hits 11 degrees, auspicious number there. Now we have two planets that are hitting 11 degrees. Now I'm looking at that we have Mercury in Taurus that's moving really quick through Taurus right now. It's already at 11 degrees by Saturday. See, it's going to be Friday. I'm going to be putting this up, I think, on the 16th. Or I'll put it up on Saturday. Now I'm just kind of putting them up whenever, you know. Hopefully you like that, and donate, like, and subscribe. By the way, Tina, thank you so much for just encouraging me to find the link to my PayPal, and I'll put it at the bottom in the description, and let's see who can work it. I don't know really how to work it, or even if it works. I really don't. Let me know, Tina. Go on there and just look into it and see. Well, yeah, this makes it easy. I mean, you're kind of my coach about that, and I was just wondering, well, anybody, look into it. Can you please donate at least $5? You know, I'm trying to get an oil change and some new tires, and I think it's perfectly fine to ask for people to help me out at this point. With that late degree Taurus, it does try my Venus, but it's like it's a gift giving thing. You know, it's a big full cup, and what use is that full cup? You know, you're just gonna tip it over, or can you kind of like pour it into some little cups? You know, hopefully that will work. Otherwise, see, with the Uranus there, it's probably just like, well, too bad you couldn't do it. Now it's just flying everywhere, and you can't share, and you guys are selfish, you know, right? That's the worst attribute of Taurus, especially. But no, all the fixed signs. See, who gets a gold medal to me in generosity throughout my life. Really selfless people, believe it or not, is Scorpio for me. For me, they just know how to go, yeah, I know how it is. Here, take it, and it's a generous boom, and they are not manipulating or anything. They're like, yeah, but I know how it is, right? They just know. See, Taurus rules the second house of Taurus, which is your money, your generative value there, your money. And then opposite of that is Scorpio, which is on the other side of the Bible, which is that's the astrological chart is like that. It's a day and night. And when it starts out, you see there's 7 planets, and when you start doing the opposition, the first opposition that happens is at Libra, because it's the 7th, and now we're looking at Aries over there. Aries can always learn something from Libra about diplomacy and tactfulness, and if anybody is a really good warrior and a darn good, you know, warrior, it's Libra. You can't really knock the way that they are tactful about things, but no, see, they would work in tandem. See, there isn't anything like Aries either that just does not hesitate and really executes. So they work in tandem. It's not really a competition. the oppositions can seem that way, but no, they can go either way. It's the Bible thing. They're kind of oscillating. Um, Scorpio rules other people's money. It's very spiritual. It rules the 8th house of Scorpio, which is sex, um, energy there, that exchange thing, very big. If you ask me, very big subject matter that is kind of lighting up, even though there isn't any Scorpio planets per se right now, except for that Scorpio moon that we just have come off of, which is huge. No, that's huge. And now we're kind of doing this opposition. Pardon my look and everything. I had actually a very difficult past 24 hours, and I don't want to get into it right now. I'm being abused by sociopaths. If you don't give them any attention, and you just don't play their game of attention getting, then they just want to delete you. They want to hack at you. They don't like you, And it's weird because the attention getting is just it's childish. We all have this thing. We can have it, right? But to turn into that kind of thing where they just target you because they think that you're useless because, well, you don't give them any attention. You don't like their game. You don't like anything they stand for. I don't know. And it's like, well, can you mind your own business? No. They are testing your emotional waters. And if you ever show a gap there that they get in, I mean, you can see, don't ever tell them anything because they use it against you. Not even if it's weird. I don't want to get into this, but I've been socked around by this shit. It's weird. I hate it. So now, with it being Venus ruled, this Cazimi that's happening on the weekend here, we look at Venus, and well, it's sharing the same degree with Taurus over there. These are the two kind of cattle that are out there. There's the ram, goat, and then there's the bull. They're both hitting 11, which is a trip. Now, there's a trine between Venus and Mars, which is very important. This is so harmonious and so beneficial. Um, for me, it's very auspicious because it's right smack dab on my part of fortune. And it's like, well, even though that I'm being bat around by these highly abusive, unconscious people that I don't know, they fear me, they're fearing something, they're blaming me of things. It's just overblown because somebody is having a Saturn return over there in Pisces. And it's like, man, have you worked on your karma of that? Or are you continually batting people around just because you think you're better than, you know what I mean? So it reminds me of the Bob Marley song, that talks when he sings, until the philosophy which orders one race superior than another, inferior, is finally discredited and abandoned, and everywhere there's war, war, yeah. What, can we get over it? Well, see, we have Venus in the sign of war, Aries, which is not a very good place for Venus. She's kind of like just rough and tumble there, And now, but see, now later on this week, when we get into the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, by the time it gets to Tuesday, I can see right here, between Tuesday and Wednesday, Mars and Venus do a trine. A beautiful trine, fire trine. So beautiful. It's just, I get the image of the kumbaya around the fire. Literally, there's the Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo, it's just bitchin'. It's just such a beneficial. See, it's right on my part of fortune. I have Leo in the 5th house of Leo, which is at home there because it's pretty much at home for me because I have Aries rising the 1st, and then there's the 5th house of Leo and the 9th house of Sagittarius. See, I have a grand trine. I have a fire grand trine in my chart, which involves my part of fortune, my ascendant, and Neptune. And so, needless to say, I'm going to play some music. I'm going to play a little song for people, and I hope that you can donate a little money before and after, because I will make it sweet, and I'll put it on this here. I'll try to be creative and make it astounding. But I am being abused, and you wouldn't believe what I'm having to deal with no help at all, really. It's horrible. But I heard Ralph Smart talk about it. He said, no, it's hard right now, but what you're going to do, you're going to make a breakthrough, and you're gonna persist. You don't have to have people around you to do it. You can do it alone. Do it alone. Do it poor. Do it broke. Do it exhausted. But do it. Just do it, because you will be making a breakthrough. Yeah. So there's that grand trine that's so beautiful. And what else do we look at? See, we still have, we do have Saturn and Gemini that's getting into the later degree. By next month, it goes into Cancer, which I'm really looking forward to that, because it will start trining my Jupiter. And I bet you anything, if my darn PayPal link works, I'll get it to work. See, I'm hoping that Tina will follow up and say, yeah, it's looking like you hit the right thing there. I'm going to put that darn PayPal link in the description box below, and I don't know what the darn address has to do with it, but it's the AEIOUYOUTOO. And so, well, there's this dollar sign in front of it. Sorry, there's a dollar sign, and then AEIOUYOUTOO. Hope that's not too confusing. It is for me. So, yeah, it's happening. You know, we have the early degree of this beautiful, see, we have a sextile with Neptune and Pluto, Pluto has began going backwards, and it's kind of like, see, Pluto is an excavator kind of a thing. It's kind of digging at very deep issues and cleaning, and it's really difficult, see, but when it starts to go backwards, I get the image of it kind of pulling away, and then now some collapsing is happening, right? Or maybe not. It just depends on like how it aspects other people, right? It doesn't always have to be bad, see, but for some people like Taurus and Scorpio and Leo, the Pluto is affecting them big time, like in a very adverse way. It's not comfortable. And they might find that there's a collapsing going on even more, because we hit a new degree at 3 degrees, but now it's going retrograde, and it's going to start that collapsing thing. It's like a worm that is now backing up. That's the best way to explain it. And it keeps going back to 1 degree. By October, it starts to go direct. That's just the last planet of Pluto that moves the slowest here. And it happens to be sextile Neptune, which is highly beneficial for our spiritual selves. Somehow somebody's benefiting. You know, the people that are benefiting is the air signs. The air signs, and also the planets that are sextiling, like the Sagittarius and Aries. And so just a lot going on, but this big thing on the weekend that's going on with that Cazimi I wanted to talk about. We also have Saturn kind of coming up to square. Well, it's going to get out of square elementary square. See, Saturn is going to hit 0 point. Very auspicious Saturn Neptune thing that is, they're going to start conjuncting and kind of going like this. And it's see, Saturn is it takes a whole 32 years to go around the entire zodiacal signs, and this doesn't happen. It hasn't happened in 32 years as far as the or 30 or 30 to 32. It's called your Saturn return. If you have Saturn in Aries, that's what you're experiencing now. You're around about 29, and you're not going to be the same after Saturn gives you your main lesson about the self. That's what Aries is. It happens to be going through my first house, and I'm feeling it. It's like, well, I'm ready for that structure. I know what it is to be concise. And see, Saturn wants structure and discipline, and it wants you to learn, and it wants you to know what you're learning and gain wisdom. See, by the time you are going through your Saturn return from, well, it kind of comes on about 28, 29. See, you can remember, if you're an older person, like, you'd be like, yeah, I remember that darn time when I turned that age. And you're just getting wiser. By the time you're done, by the time you're 32, you're a little bit, I don't want to say older, but you're wiser. You're not 20 anymore. Oh boy, you know, I have elders for friends. I love my friends, all of them. They're all elders. I value the elders in my life. Saturn rules elders. It rules the old man, you know, Old Man Winter. It's Capricorn. Not a bad thing. They're culminated in their wisdom, and you can learn a lot from them. They're hunkered down, and they have the basics together already. They have the structure of all of it, right? I just get the vision of, yeah, it's very snowy outside. It's Capricorn, January, but in the cove, they have their oil lantern, and they're the kind of hermited a little bit, but not really. They're very useful there. They're probably typing a letter that is of some importance, that everybody can use maybe. So it does have to do with it can do with very important, like, lawful issues, but really it's lessons about things. And so anyway, it's going into Aries by the 26th of May. But I'm focusing on this weekend and this next week, where there's a beautiful fire trine. If you have any fire in your chart, or if, like, you're in Aquarius, or if the sextile is happening with Leo, see, then Libra is really going to benefit from this. It's very interesting for Libras right now. If you're a rising sign Libra, because of how that Venus has done this strange retrograde for us all, it's kind of a resetting our relationships factor. Either it's just knocking it out, or it's strengthening it. You have to come clean and just set your boundaries and say, well, if this is going to work, this has got to be the way it's got to be. And see, communications is big. If you can't communicate, babes, if you're not somebody who is in a relationship where you're not communicating, you do not have a relationship there. It's dangerous if you're living in the dark. There's some people that do not agree with communicating. They say, here, stuff it all down and slit your and tighten up. And it's like, well, yeah, but no. See, if you do that, people don't respect you. If you try to put just a mask on of nicey nice, you're going to be slapped around. You're going to get ripped off, and they're going to say, yeah, whatever. See, that's the thing that I know is, it's like, no, you pipe up, and when you see there's a narcissist there, that they can only try and undermine your confidence and your position, immediately just say, fuck off, get out of here, go, move on. No, I don't have any, right? You just say, I don't have any obligation to listen to you and your fucking mind-tripping fucking games. It's useless to me, get out of here. Go and fuck with somebody else. Narcissists are kind of just, they're different than sociopaths, but sociopaths are way more dangerous, see. They are so much more dangerous. This is what I'm dealing with around here. And so anyway, you just don't give them any energy, but they hate it. They hate it, You end up, like, working with them, or you have them in your neighborhood or wherever, if they're your family member. And I put that video up by Darnish, and I'll put it again, that there's some people that could just see right through them, and they just kind of go stoic, and they're like, they're not like, oh yeah, no, yes, I can use some help, or they're not like, well, no, thanks, but I'll get back to you. But that there isn't anything like that. They're just like this. When the sociopath starts to see that, or a narcissist does, it's like the fucking heat is on now. They get alarmed. They start getting antsy. They're like, why doesn't this person play my power tripping game? Well, now you can become a target. And that's kind of pretty much what has happened to me around here. And it's weird. It's like, well, no, we're not permanently, like, belly up. Time is moving on. Seasons are changing. Neptune is getting out of Pisces. Saturn is certainly going to get the fuck out of Pisces. It's kind of interesting to think of how Saturn is conjuncting Neptune in water. Rules, it's Piscean. It's kind of got that theme to it, but it's in Aries now. And so it's a much more, it's getting away from that poor programming. It's really starting up a brand new essence that is very much more dream time than ever. And it's important to not get projected upon by the narcissist or anything, because it's important to figure out, well, you might be feeling it already, that something is culminating in your life that is all of a sudden now it's starting to, you're seeing a structure now. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually saying, oh, well, no, this is what you're all about here. You know, you have a foundation that happened, and then now you're up and now on the second floor, and you're succeeding into this dimension. You know. So anyway, thanks for listening, and like and subscribe if you like. I have my PayPal link. See, I've talked about this before, right? The way that people have it in their minds, like this one person said, no, money is like, it's an institution for mental cases, I say, and it's based in belief. It's just a belief. And that's wrong. If you look at the word in belief, the main word in there is lie, right? Don't have any beliefs. I mean, it's a mind thing. So you're saying it's 2 plus 2 is 5, huh? Enough people see the strength in numbers thing, where it's like strength in numbers, but really no. See, if you're one single solitary person who says, no, 2 plus 2 is 4, and we can take that to higher courts of law, and they'll say, yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, it is. You're stronger than 75,000 people. You can have 1 on 75,000. That one person is more stronger because they're not doing the 2 plus 2 is 5. They're doing the 2 plus 2 is 4. Even a child will say, no, I'm standing over here, and they kind of just look and they look at this crowd over here, and they're like, and they kind of move over to get behind the truth. It's safer there because the truth is the same for all. So it's kind of boiling down to that kind of issue. And always, we don't use this esoteric language or any other language. It's there because there's the truth, and we start celebrating it and talking about it, and that's the light. It's light that it's here already. You know, if you're doing it great, all you're doing is kind of celebrating about it. You're celebrating things. You're speaking into reality. You have an intention there to just celebrate. It's celebrating, you know. So find your celebratee. I might become a celebratee. Anybody can be a celebratee. Just get your ball and try and spin that freaking ball on your finger, and that's interesting. You know, there's only one way to do that. You got to be centered up, and everybody knows that feeling. It's difficult, but try something difficult and try to master it and try to blow somebody's mind out. Especially the 2 plus 2 is 5 crew over there. They're impressing themselves with just pure lies, and they're kind of like the cliques and the gangs, and they're giving each other attention in such a way that it's fake. It's like you just go to sleep and wake up the next day, and now what? You know, oh, you know, they can be easily wavered and like knocked down by just a child saying, "Wouldn't it be wiser to grow corn than a lawn? Wouldn't it be wiser to grow food in your front yard rather than these things that do not give us food?" Like how that schools, they're planting all of these trees all around, but not a single one is bearing fruit. How fucking dangerous of a scene is that? Oh, you have to go buy your lemon for fucking $2.50 each. Whew. Hopefully, I don't know, babes. I don't know. It's up to a whole other generation to step up and say, "No, excuse me. I love the idea of growing a bunch of garlic because you can make $800,000 on it, or lemons because you need to make money." I shake my head is because, you know what? The more people that just Johnny Appleseed, man, just go around and plant and plant and plant, and what are they going to do about it? So you'll have some asshole in the background cutting it down, or chemtrailing it out, and Monsanto taking over your seed and creating an impossibility for everybody, right? Yes. It needs to be exposed. I think that's what the Neptune thing is. It's triggering off spiritual warfare. Boy, am I showing my breast here? Hey, comment section. I mean, give me some money. I just flashed my teeth. I'm gonna make this longer. Well, yeah. See, we do have that 0 point factor of Aries. See, we're still dealing with this Aries vibration. We have, of course, the Gemini Sun. We have the Sun moving into Gemini. I'm looking forward to that. You know, it trines my planets, and it's time to communicate. And there's a lot that we will be having to do with that, and a lot isn't in our favor that way. And we're looking at still some we're looking at this Venus trine Mars that if we do it right, babes, we can the feminine and the masculine can actually work in tandem together. See, I imagine that the fake crew out there who they're not human and they're not really working in tandem. They're wondering, they hate each other basically. When you see, it's classic to see narcissists together that they think it's normal to just live in bondage and in hate of each other and discord, and it's a lot of work. And the main thing is that, okay, we know that we can fucking care less about each other behind closed doors. It's like ships passing in the night. Okay, one is having to go slave away at the dishes over there, and the other one is like, yeah, I'm gonna go and turn the screw with Billy Bob over there, and they have very separate, but it's very common that the time that they shine and look like perfect couples is during the holidays. That's why I don't like the holidays, is because all these fake people get together and go, like this, and it's like, no, let's see what's really going on when all that stuff ends and when you get back to closing the door and having to be with each other there without any display. I mean, how is it really going? Like I said, it's ships in the night, misery, they talk to each other like crap. The kids want to get the fuck away from it. If they're lucky, they do at an early age, because you don't want to be around people that don't get along. It's just, see, narcissists don't know that that's not really how the way it's supposed to be. You have to look and see, like, if they have a Venus square Saturn or a hard Venus. Even those Venus, square Mars people, when they're there, they go through a hard love lesson. I remember Kim Cast has a Mars square Venus, and I was trying to tell her about it, and it's tough. See, but the thing is it's possible for you to meet your match, because somebody has a dynamic there. Like, for instance, if it's a square with Venus and Leo and then Mars and Scorpio, you can find like a Mars in Aries, which trines the Venus, and then you can find a Venus in Cancer that trines the Mars, and it really helps untangle that person that can otherwise be locked into this horrible, disenfranchising feeling about men and women in general, relationships, sex. It's could get really bad. But if you have divine intervention, there is somebody there out there for you that can help you and make you feel so much better about it all. They can teach you some completely different opposite thing, that the nightmare that you have been going through, say, because you are experiencing that and it's a lesson you're going through, and hopefully you get out of it and get into something else. Don't be afraid to love. Never shut down your heart. Never shut down communications from there. Communicate, 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 communicate. That's what we're coming on to with, see, we're going to have this Cazimi Uranus, and Uranus is actually going to move right into Gemini here. It's going to hit that late degree, and it's going to be in July. And it's coming very soon. See, now this is a whole other new era of 7 years. Somebody's going to get itch. If it squares the hell out of them, they're like, you know, honey, dear, sweetheart, I got to get out of here. I want to go to the bar and mingle, and I might meet somebody new, and sorry, bye. Okay, so anyway, thanks for your donation. Try the link at the try to do some astrology with me. Get on my Facebook page, and see, a lot of people don't want to do self-reflecting, like self-knowledge. That's what astrology is here. All it is like pointing at the possibility that the truth exists. I mean, you don't have to take on those scenarios. It never really does compel you. It just points at passages and possibilities, and that's how it helps. See, millionaires, they don't really do astrology much. They know about it. They'll do sun sign astrology and get the little machine, unravel the thing and look at it. And billionaires, they kind of get into it, but not really. Trillionaires do. 100% they do astrology.